right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Douglas County Chamber's Best in Business Luncheon, sponsored by Google and hosted by Creative Mischief and United Way of Greater Atlanta. For those who don't know me, I'm Gil Sherrouse with the Water and Sewer Authority. I'm also the 2021 Chamber Board Chair for your Douglas County Chamber. I'd like to personally welcome you and thank you for being here today. If I could, to start us off, let me invite up one of our top 10 young professional recipients, Chris Brass, with the Douglas County Parks and Recreation, to come forward and lead us in our invocation and pledge.
Good afternoon. Gracious and kind Father, we come to you as humbly as we know how, just to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do, all that you have done, and all that you will do in the future. We thank you for your everlasting grace and mercy. Thank you for life itself and the measure of health we need to fulfill our calling. We ask that you continue to protect our community, this country, and the entire world. We ask that you cover our leaders, give them the spirit of discernment in order to effectively lead our community. We pray for the ability to work together in harmony and continue to advance this great city and county. It is in your most blessed name I pray. Amen. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Chris. Appreciate your coming up and doing the invocation and pledge. Let me recognize a few folks who are in the room today. First, I will ask any of our elected officials who are here today if you will please stand and introduce yourself. I know there's at least one in the room. Two. Okay. Go ahead. Very good. Thank you to our two council persons for being here today. We thank all of our elected officials for the work they do serving our community. If I could ask any of our diplomats who are here today to please stand and be recognized as a group. A couple of them. Thank you to the diplomats for what they do for our chamber. They really are the workhorse behind so much of what we do. So now I'm very proud to recognize our 2021 Cornerstone members that join us today. You've probably seen many of them up at the front, on the screen. Today I'm going to specifically recognize our visionary partners. So when I call your company name, if you are here, I'll ask that you stand and introduce myself. Assured Comfort Heating, Air, and Plumbing. I don't think I saw Jerry here today. City of Douglasville. I know a number of folks who are here from City of Douglasville, so y'all can stand, or a couple of the elected officials have already introduced themselves. Clear Channel Outdoor. All right. Creative Mischief. I know somebody's here with Creative Mischief. All right. The Nice Companies. Mark. No. Douglas County Government. Okay. Douglas County Schools. I know we got some folks with school system. Thank you, Superintendent. Douglas County Sentinel. Miss Rachel. All right. Elevate Douglas Economic Partnership. Some board members are here, at least. Google. Have any Google reps today? Greystone Power Corporation. A few of them sitting at the front table not paying attention, so they're here. They're represented, I promise. Georgia Power, Innovative Benefits Consulting. Anybody with them? And finally, Truist. All right, and the other part of our our Cornerstone members is our Chairman's Circle. Again, they're seated up at the tables. If you are a Chairman's Circle member, if you'll also stand and introduce yourself, please. So.
Lisa Crossman and Rachel Franklin with Private Douglas Public Health.
I know there's more of you in the room. Sheena. All right. So at this point, I'd like to thank the Chairman's Circle and Visionary Partners for their support of the Chamber. We really do appreciate all that you do. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our luncheon co-sponsors, Chris Sizemore with Creative Mischief and Chad Dillard, the Chief Development Officer of the United Way, to come up and say a few remarks.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Sizemore. I am the CEO of Creative Mischief. We are a branding, marketing, and communications agency based in Atlanta. Over the past several years, we've had the pleasure to work with Sarah at the Chamber, work with the city some on some referendums, and work with Elevate Douglas. I'm proud to sponsor this today, but probably I'm prouder for getting to have my good friends at United Way come out and talk about their mission and what they do. I'm a true believer in everything that they do, big advocate for them. Quickly, I'm asked a lot of times, why do I love United Way? And I'll sum it up this way. There's an old song, and yes, I'm going to bring up an old country song. Life is not tried, it's merely survived if you're standing outside the fire. What's that mean? To me, it's easier to sit outside that fire, throw sticks, throw stones, say you should do something, you should do it this way. But it takes special individuals, special groups, special organizations who jump inside that fire and push back those flames that are hindering our communities. United Way is our community first responder, and it's why I love them so much. And why Nadia, she's saying over here she's going to donate to on behalf of Greystone, so just going to throw that out there real quick. So Nadia, I appreciate that so much of always giving your passion back to the community. But again, thank y'all so much for coming out today. And please, afterwards, after you talk with Chad, who is absolutely amazing, doing amazing things at United Way, that y'all just reach out because with your support, with United Way, we can absolutely elevate Douglas. Thank you.
A little shorter than you, and I didn't pay him to say any of that, but maybe I should. Thank you, Chris, and thank you for inviting us here today. You know, I am the Chief Development Officer for United Way of Greater Atlanta. And United Way has been a part of our community for over 100 years, responding to our community's most urgent needs, whether that be a pandemic or the child well-being and inequities in our communities. And so our mission is really to bring people together to improve the lives of children so that all children, no matter their zip code, no matter their background, no matter their educational level, no matter their race, they can all thrive. They all have an opportunity to excel in life. And that's what we try to do. We do that by combating homelessness, by supporting education, by addressing racial inequities, by building stable home environments, and by uniting people together to address all of this, because that's what we do. We can't tackle complex issues alone. We have to bring organizations like companies together. We have to bring foundations together. We have to bring associations and individuals in the community together to tackle these issues. I got connected to United Way of Greater Atlanta when I was still at Georgia State University on their payroll, and we had a program there called Project Healthy Grandparents. And United Way supported that program. And I always wondered, well, why do they do that? It's because so many grandparents take care of children in our community. And it's essential that we support those grandparents who are doing that to promote stable housing for those children. And so that's the kind of thing that United Way does that pulls at my heartstrings and makes me want to join forces and really unite for more. You'll see this card on your table, and I encourage everyone to go check out the URL code. Go check that out, QR code. Go there, learn more about how you can unite with us. I would ask 3 things from you today. One is that you engage with us. There are so many amazing ways to engage with United Way of Greater Atlanta. We have Small Business United. We have networking opportunities. We have Young Professional Leader Organization. We have Women United. We have African American partnerships. We have volunteerism activities all over Greater Atlanta. There are opportunities for you to join forces with your family and friends and colleagues to really change the landscape of this community for the better for our children. And so I'd encourage you to engage with us. I encourage you to advocate for us, because United Way is essential if we're going to continue to be here 100 years from now to respond to the next pandemic, to respond to the urgent needs of tomorrow. So I encourage you to go check out social media, share social media, like our pages, tell friends and family about us, go do volunteerism with them. So advocate for us. And then lastly, I'm the Chief Development Officer, so I would not be doing my job if I didn't say, please give to the organization. And giving to the organization is extremely simple. You can do it directly through the QR code, and it can be any amount. Just get into the habit of uniting with us. $10 a month, $50, $100, whatever you can spare. Please help us help the children of our community. So thank you again for having me. I'm delighted to be here, and on behalf of United Way of Greater Atlanta, thank you for your support and partnership.
All right, thank you, Chris and Chad, for your support of this event. And I thought Chad might have mentioned the 21-day equity challenge that United Way has going on. If you're not participating in that, I just heard this morning, we have over 200 of our community members participating in that challenge right now. So if you're not signed up for that, please do sign up. It's an awesome program. I would certainly, and I'll personally mention that. It's a great thing. At this time, I'd like to welcome two special guests we have today: Gary Miller, President and CEO of Greystone Power Corporation, and Leonte Benton, Principal and Senior Vice President of T. Dallas Smith and Company, LLC. Gary is a true testament of a CEO who listens and cares about the young professionals in his company, and Leonte is an accomplished and well-respected young professional and leader who is helping to shape the business of today and tomorrow. So welcome, gentlemen, and look forward to your remarks.
Well, Gil, thank you for that. Thank you for the opportunity to come, for both of us to speak here a little bit before and share some of our stories with you for young professionals. It really is an honor for us to be here and on an occasion of recognizing young professionals. I couldn't think of a better opportunity to be here. Leonte, had a chance to look a little bit at your professional background, and I tell you, it's quite an impressive record that you have. For someone as young as you are, as I look at all that you've accomplished already, can you share with the group your leadership journey as a young professional and how all of this kind of came together for you?
Absolutely. Thank you, Gary, and thank you to the Chamber for the opportunity to be here. Again, I'm Leonte Benton, and I'm the Principal and Senior Vice President with T. Dallas Smith and Company, a commercial real estate firm that's based here in Atlanta. We do work all over the nation for Microsoft, AT&T, FedEx, et cetera. And I'm also the state board rep for District 13 for the Department of Education. So I don't want to gloss over that. Douglas County is near and dear to my heart. And with that being said, I'm, again, a native Atlantan. And growing up, I had a typical economically challenging experience as a child. My father went to prison when I was 7. I had the misfortune of witnessing my grandfather shoot my grandmother at the age of 4. I went to 5 different elementary schools, and I lived in just about every low-income community in the city of Atlanta, from the Mechanicsville to the Adamsville to East Atlanta, which was known as Little Vietnam. And I was arrested for the first time at the age of 14, but by the grace of God, I'm here. And fast forward, I had some pivotal things that happened to me in high school. First thing, we moved to south of Atlanta to College Park. And while in College Park, there was a young Korean guy who owned a liquor store. And I, just being an ambitious young fella, went and asked him if I could work for free just to learn the business. And, initially he kind of pushed me away, but I kept coming back, and eventually he gave me the opportunity to work for him. And then I had a second scenario where that happened again. My high school English teacher, who I'm still very good friends with to this day, would always talk about real estate while in class. And I eventually asked him if I could come and work with him for free on the weekends. And he, said with the permission of my mom that could be possible. So I went and I started just doing kind of handyman work for him. And fast forward, I barely graduate high school by the skin of my teeth. I mean, 2.000, like I literally barely graduated. If it wasn't for my mom, who's so gracious at the time, working 4 jobs, one of which she was a school bus driver. She also worked at Chick-fil-A in between her bus routes. She would literally bring my teachers Chick-fil-A biscuits and Krispy Kreme donuts, so I know for a fact if it wasn't for my mom, I probably would not have graduated. So fast forward, when I was 19 years old, I had some friends get into some legal trouble. And again, by the grace of God, I just happened not to be with them that night because I was having dinner with my godfather, who works in real estate. And over the years, he's known that I've always had an interest in commercial real estate. And that evening, he basically said to me, "Leonte, now's the time for you to pursue your dreams." And what I did not know at that time, though, was that my friends who I had been hanging with all my life was committing a crime. And basically, I got a call the next morning that 4 of my buddies had got arrested for armed robbery. And around that same time, I had another friend get fatally shot in the head. And for me, this kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. So I went to my old high school, which is Creekside High School, where I graduated, and I found myself in the weight room just trying to clear my head. And while I was there, 2 teammates from high school were in the gym working out. One had recently got a scholarship to play Pac-10 football at Arizona State, and the other had just recently got a scholarship to play football at UNLV. And they encouraged me to move to California, get my associate's degree, and just kind of take life from there. So literally from the time my friends got arrested to the time I applied to the school, because again, I didn't have the grades to go to a traditional 4-year school, I moved to California 2 weeks later. And when I moved to San Diego, California, played football for a small period of time and really focused on my academics. And while I was there, I invited some more of my friends from Atlanta to come out, and the same thing happened. I decided to get a job while I was there working in the school cafeteria/restaurant. And I had 4 friends get arrested, and I had a friend get killed in Tijuana, Mexico. And I know we got limited time, so I'm gonna speed up. But long story short, I finished school in California. I was headed to UC Berkeley, and my godfather intervened again, and he said to me, "Leonte, I thought you wanted to make a difference in Georgia." And I said, "I do." Well, he said, "If that's the case, I suggest you finish your last 2 years of undergrad in Georgia so that you can start building relationships and start getting involved in the community." So I moved home, and during my transition period, I just heard a voice from God, and he said, start writing letters. So literally, I wrote everybody I could think of, over 100 letters. I wrote everyone from Truett Cathy, who started Chick-fil-A, to Arthur Blank, to Warren Buffett, who was the richest man in the world at the time, to Russell Simmons. And I would just ride past office buildings, and whoever name I saw on the marquee, I would send them a letter. And surprisingly, I would say maybe 98% of the folks wrote back, including Truett Cathy, Arthur Blank, and Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett actually sent me some tickets to the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting, which was an amazing experience. But from all that, I got involved with the community. One of the things that most of the people had in common were they were heavily involved with the community. So I started just doing volunteer work with various organizations, including United Way. Milton Little was one of the people that I wrote, who's the president and CEO of United Way, and he's still today a very good friend and mentor. So got involved, and I met a professional baseball player, a guy named Brian Jordan, who played for the Braves at the time. And he was working on a real estate transaction, and I met him at this huge gala. And I just kind of went up to him, told him I was a student at Morehouse and that I would love to come and pick his brain. He gave me his cell number. And literally, I called him, I want to say like the next Tuesday or so. He invited me in his office. Sorry to talk fast. And he said to me, man, I hit baseballs for a living, but I'm going to introduce you to the guy that handles all the real estate, which happened to be this guy named T. Dallas Smith. So I met Dallas, and he basically interviewed me for probably all of 30 seconds. And he said, you know what, kid? Get your real estate license and come back and see me. So to me, I heard opportunity. I went and got my license in 3 weeks. I did the online course, came back. Mr. Smith, I'm super excited. I got my license, and this guy totally forgets who I am. So I'm like, dude, you told me to get my license. I came back, and now you don't remember me? So I did what I did best, and I said, hey, man, I'll work for free. And he literally just made me kind of his gopher or his do-boy. He had me literally washing his car, walking his dog, getting him coffee, anything under the sun. And I did everything with a smile on my face because I knew that I could learn from him. And fast forward, the economy was starting to tank. And by this time, I had started working in the real estate on real estate transactions with him. Excuse me. And he basically called me one day and he said, hey, man, the economy's tanking, the company's imploding, and I think I'm going back to my core business, which is commercial real estate, and I would like to know if you would like to start a company with me. And he said to me, if you give me 5 years of your life, you'll be making more money than any of your friends. And I immediately said, where do I sign up? And that's pretty much kind of how we got to where we are today. That was in 2006. Fast forward, as mentioned earlier, we represent a host of companies across the country. We're doing transactions in 36 different states right now, and I feel extremely blessed to be here. Sorry for that extremely long-winded answer.
No, that was quite an impressive story, and to me, a lot of good information in there. Number one, is perseverance. Don't let life get you down. You set your goals, you keep working, and you don't let adversity get in the way and throw you off track. And I think
Absolutely.
that's something that you've shown through your career, and the life experiences you had of staying focused and knowing what you wanted to do. So very impressive. So I know you talked a little about your godfather and some advice and things he'd given you, but what is the best piece of advice that you've been given that you would want to share with young professionals that help guide you?
So I would say the best advice I've received is to be intentional about everything you do, everything you think, every step along your journey. Be extremely intentional. The power of focus is amazing. I got a friend who I went to undergrad with, And initially, he was flipping houses, and I was, doing the commercial real estate brokerage stuff. And he came to me with the wild idea of us starting to buy multifamily assets, apartment buildings. I said, man, that's great. He said, but you got to join this journey with me. He said, we're going to fast until we find the first asset that we could buy. And literally, we fasted for 8 months. But what that did was it gave us the intentionality and the laser focus. When your stomach is growling and you can't drink water and you can't do all these other pleasurable things that you want to do during your everyday life, it forces you to focus and be intentional. So,
Very good. I'm guessing, by the way, from the first question, you don't work for free anymore.
every once in a while, if it's for a good cause.
Good answer. How can, I'm going to use the word seasoned professional, seasoned person like myself, how can we help empower young professionals such as yourself in the workplace today? What can we do to help? And what have you seen? Because I'm sure along this journey, you've seen things that work and don't work. What have you kind of seen there that
I would say from just having casual conversations with my peers and my friends, people like to be in a safe space. So I would say, one, do all you can to create a safe space for people to be authentically themselves, no matter what that is, whether that's how you dress, how you wear your hair, whatever. I would also say, listen to them. I've been blessed and fortunate to have good mentors in my life, and even Dallas in my office, we're business partners, but I refer to him as Mr. Miyagi. Every time I see him, I call him Miyagi, if anyone's seen Karate Kid, because he has been an excellent teacher to me, but he also listens. And he's done an amazing job of creating a space where anyone who comes to work for our company can be authentically themselves. And if they don't agree with something, we've, again, created a space where we can debate and have tough conversations, and we can scream, yell, kick. And, at the end of the day, we all know that the goal is to push the company forward and to make progress so that we can all take care of our families.
all right, very good. Do you have some questions yourself you want to ask?
I have several. So my first question is, how can young professionals best position themselves for the future, in your opinion?
And that's a very good question. Some of it, I guess, what I would say kind of relates to the career journey that you've had. Number one, invest in yourself, and I mean education. Get your education. Never stop learning. Life is a learning process, for your whole life. So never feel like I've gotten my degree, I'm done. It's a constant learning opportunity. Look for those opportunities. Challenge yourself to do more. Push yourself to go beyond limits that you've got set. But number one, I tell, and I've told my kids and young people this, you are the cash register of your life, okay? What you do, the effort you put forward determines what you earn and all of that. So invest, number one, in yourself, in your education, in your knowledge, in your skills. Number two, I would say, let your employer know your career goals and what you want to do. Make sure they know, hey, I want to do more. I want more responsibility. I want to be involved in these projects. Volunteer for things in the company that are going on. Can I be on that team? Can I be in, play a role in that decision, or let me take that decision. Let me work on that problem and try to solve it. But be, again, a little aggressive in knowing what you want. I see people who come to work for us who are content to come in, sit down, and do their job, but then they don't really invest in themselves, and they want to know why their career isn't moving up. And I've got other young people who come in, and they're very aggressive. They're looking, they're taking other assignments, they're volunteering, and they're investing in themselves. So that, back it up with the work ethic. When you tell them, hey, I want to do more, then do more. Step up and deliver and work on those things. And then one of the important things I would say to young professionals today, something I've seen people make mistakes with, is be strategic in the career moves that you make. All right, there will be opportunities to take jobs that are higher paying, maybe within the company, or you may see an opportunity outside of the company. And too many times I will see someone who, in a young professional who wants to move their career, but they move too fast. Make sure you are comfortable for that next move. Don't get so far ahead taking jobs and moving that at some point you find you're unprepared for the job that you've got. I think that is a big problem that some people have. I turned down job opportunities during my career because I didn't feel I was ready for them at that point in time. And I knew when I take this job, I want to be successful with it. So I would say be strategic, be thinking about, does this help me meet my career objective, or is this a detour off the plan that I have set for myself? But be very strategic and think about that.
Great answer. I guess, are there any other things that you think young professionals should be aware of?
I would say when you go into an organization, my first bit of advice is understand the culture. You're going in, you probably have some great ideas. I can change this, I can fix this, I can improve this, but understand the culture, understand the people. I've seen people who come in and they've got great ideas, but they want to do it all at one time, and they leave the people they work with in shock or pushing back. All of a sudden, it's too much. We're not ready. I don't know what you mean. Why are we doing this? And so it's like get to feel that culture, get to know the people, implement the things you want to do in a very planned out way. Don't come in and just looking to change everything and fix everything right off the bat, because I've seen problems with that. We had a young professional in our organization who wanted to be a vice president, and continually, I want to be a VP, I want to be a VP, and we would, you're not ready, we're not ready for that job yet, you're not there yet, and he kept looking and then found the job outside in the same industry where he applied for it. He became a VP, got the VP job at that company. Left us, and within 2 months, he's terminated from that job. He wasn't prepared, he wasn't ready, and now he's out of a job. And he thought that's what he wanted, but he wasn't ready. And that's where I come back. Strategic career. Think about, what it is you want. Understand the culture. Part of the problem is he went in, he was changing things way too fast, and they were like, slow down, slow down. So I've just seen that as a big mistake, and so I would say, be very thoughtful about that and understand the culture.
Lovely. Currently, there are a lot of negative stereotypes about young professionals. What is your take on this, and how can young professionals help debunk these stereotypes?
What I would say, and I had somebody tell me this before, as well, and I heard, and I totally agree with it, and that is, every generation is very hard on the next generation coming. So first I would say, do not take this personal. Every generation feels the next generation doesn't work as hard, doesn't care as much, doesn't push themselves as much. So take that with a grain of salt first and foremost. I know my uncle was a farmer, and I got volunteered a lot of summers to go work on the farm. and for free, by the way, as well. And and he would complain. Young people today, they don't want to work, they don't want to farm. They're not willing to get their hands dirty and work. And yet, you stop and look today, and in agriculture, we feed the world. We produce more food today because that next generation works smarter, not harder. In the technology and the things that were done. So, don't let things, like that, in the complaints you hear about, oh, this generation, you can't make them happy, you can't do this or whatever. Be yourself. Don't get distracted from those things. Every generation is different, and you'll hear that, from all of them. And I do believe, more than anything, a good, solid work ethic and performance outweighs all of that anyway. Nobody's going to, if you've got somebody who's a hard worker, good worker, they're not going to complain about, oh, they're a millennial or they're a Gen Z or whatever all of these, are.
Very nice. I think that concludes our conversation.
I think it does. I'm not sure if we have more time or time for any questions, Gil.
We have some time for questions from the audience. Anybody wants to lob some questions
Well, I'll take a moment if we've got just a moment. And I'll ask Leonte a question about that I do hear see from the employer perspective, and that is, what are young professionals looking for today in the workplace? Is it because you hear that today workers are interviewing the company as much as the company is interviewing the employee. Do I want to come to work for this company? So, what are they looking for? Is it they want to make an impact on on the world through a legacy? I want to do good, or are they looking for a company that they think is very environmentally friendly? What are young professionals looking for?
In my opinion, I think all of the above. I would say, so we represent quite a few tech companies, and I think the tech companies have done an amazing job of creating a model that makes work attractive. I mean, to be able to go to work and, again, wear whatever you want to wear. Obviously, I have on a T-shirt and some Nikes. That's because that's the culture that we've created at T. Dallas Smith and Company. So I think just having the flexibility to do kind of what you want to do when you want to do it, as long as the thing that always speaks is productivity. So if you're being productive, who cares if you have on a T-shirt, or who cares if you want to work from the cafeteria, or if you want to have a beer at 11 a.m. I mean, if you come to our office right now, we have a hodgepodge of individuals, and you may come in at 6 a.m. and you may see someone in the office doing push-ups, and then you may come in at 11 a.m. and you may see someone on the golf simulator, and you may come in at 2 p.m. and see the entire office taking shots of tequila. So. So
I know there's several in here wanting to know if y'all got any openings.
So I think what's really important is the environment that's created, and let's create an environment of productivity, but also an environment of fun. Because let's face it, you spend more time with the people you work with and the people you actually love, and my kids, my family, etc. So why not make work a place where it's where you can enjoy every moment, but also be productive?
Yeah. And I agree with you 100%. I'm a firm believer that the workplace, people ought to enjoy coming to work. They ought to have a good time at work. There's a job to be done, but I think you can do it in a relaxed, a more relaxed manner.
Absolutely.
Without a lot of real rigid structure to it. So.
Absolutely. I know we got one question. Okay, there we go. Yes.
But I know that you were appointed.
Yes.
Knowing the struggles that you had in school and knowing how you enjoy giving back to the community,
Mm-hmm.
who appointed you? And how did it feel to receive a call from someone
Yes.
asking you to serve? Because that's you're going from the neighborhoods you're talking about
Yes. Yes.
there to receiving the call that you received.
Yes.
Who appointed you and how did that make you feel?
So Governor Kemp appointed me. Governor Kemp, in my opinion, is an amazing individual despite how he's portrayed in the media. But yes, Governor Kemp appointed me, and when I got that phone call, it was, I can't describe it, just the level of gratitude that I had for him to even consider me for that position was unreal. And I'm extremely grateful and thankful to him. And I gave him my word that I would serve. And I also gave him my word that I was going to visit every school in the district, which is a tall order because the district is huge, but that is something that I plan to do. I plan to visit every single school in District 13 and, just have a conversation around issues and things that each individual school is facing and report back to the state on kind of how we can progressively move through addressing some of these issues. So thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leonte and Gary, for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us today. Some inspiring words we've heard today. As a thank you for speaking with us, we have a contribution to be made in your name to the Chamber Board Scholarship, which funds scholarships for graduating high school seniors. And now it is my pleasure to present our top 10 young professionals for 2021. The Top 10 Young Professionals is an annual recognition for adults the age of 21 to 40 who excel professionally as well as serve the Douglas County community. The selection process was highly competitive with a number of applicants vying for this honor. You can read more about our honorees in the programs at your table. These 10 individuals will be eligible for the Young Professional of the Year award given at the Winter Ball in February. We would like to specifically thank our partner, the Douglas County Sentinel, for the Top 10 Young Professionals Awards. Publisher Rachel Rainey is here with us today, and she partners with the Chamber to recognize our outstanding young professionals in Douglas County. Please check out the Sentinel this weekend for detailed information on our winners. And Rachel, if you'll please come forward for the awards presentation. I would also like to invite AMPed Board Chair Chelsea Jackson to assist with the presentation. So Chelsea and Rachel, take it away.
Lord, this Gil is a little taller than I am. Good afternoon, everyone. Of course, Gil said I'm Chelsea Jackson. I'm the AMP Board Chair for 2021. And without further ado, now on to the top 10. When I call your name, please come to the front to accept your award. Chris Bass with Douglasville Parks and Recreation. Zachary Bush with Wellstar Douglas Hospital. Adam Ederle with Greystar Power Corporations, and Adam is not unable to be with us here today. Rachel Franklin with Cobb and Douglas Public Health. Sonora Jones with Wellstar Douglas Hospital. Emily Leitner with the Culture Arts Council of Douglasville, Douglas County, and Emily is also unable to be with us today. Ben Marlowe with Ben Marlowe Allstate Insurance. Abby Morgan with Douglasville, Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority. Tanish Springer with Douglas County School System. And Dr. Tiffany Weaver with Douglas County School System. Congratulations to all our winners. Please stay after the luncheon for pictures. Thank you.
All right, congratulations again to all of our top 10 young professionals. Thank you for what you're doing and looking forward to great things out of this group. In the future, just have a few announcements and we will close out. First, join us for our next Business After Hours on September 26th at 5 p.m. It is sponsored by and hosted at West Georgia Cornhole. Please join us for our next level networking breakfast on October 14th at 8 a.m., sponsored by and hosted at Jones Wynn Funeral Home, Douglas Chapel. And we are 26 days away from our 2021 Douglas County Chamber Golf Classic. You can register via the DC Chamber website or reach out to Colby Davis at the Chamber for more information. If you don't know Colby, he's that fine-looking young man walking through right there. Go see him. He'll get you registered. And then finally, United Way of Greater Atlanta has provided today's door prizes. Chad, if you'll come back up and help me, we'll award a few door prizes this morning.
All right, I didn't know I was doing this, but I will do it. That's cool, that's fine. All right, let's see. The first number is 201654. 201654. I was like, here you go. Well, here, what do we have in here? Let's look. Oh yeah, lots of good stuff from United Way of Greater Atlanta. We got sunglasses, a T-shirt. It looks like there is a notebook. So all of this good stuff. Swag bag. All right, 201573. And you have to cheer real loud when it's you. Okay, 201573. Going once. All right, gone. All right, 201653. All right, there we go. All right, last one here. 201655. All right. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Chad, and thanks again to United Way for today's sponsorship. I want to thank again Leonte and Gary for joining us today, to Creative Mischief and United Way of Greater Atlanta for sponsoring the luncheon, and to Google for their name and sponsorship. Thank you all for being here today. Congrats again to our top 10 young professionals, and y'all have a great rest of your week.